accomplish. I want people to have fun reading my stuff. I want to be the guy that you remember fondly from. I read a book by him. He was good. I will always fondly remember Isaac Asimov. The Foundation trilogy is one of the central pieces of fiction that I ever read, and I will never forget what that made me feel like. And I want to be that guy for some people in the future. I want to put out my opinion about what the world is, what I think the world is, and maybe get a few ideas around the fringes to how it might be better. But I love playing that game, and I think people could enjoy playing that game with me. But privately, I just want to leave things in a better condition than I found them. And I have my own definitions as to what I mean by that. And everybody can do it in their own sphere. You don't have to be all-encompassing in that. Just clean up your little corner a little bit. If people were glad to have known you, you've done well. As to who I am, I don't know. Does anybody ever really know who they are? That changes day to day. I do not want to be defined by anyone else. I think that's probably enough of a goal for anybody. Everything that we do hinges on aesthetics. It's the stuff we're not paying attention to that will shape us as much as anything else. And art, in all of its manifestations, has that kind of a potential to shape how you go out in the day and greet the world. And it's not just beautiful, but it's meaningful art. It has to have some kind of an impact that makes you feel differently and react differently, and that is ultimately in music, and the visual arts to me are just, music in particular, because there's no pretense that it's supposed to be something else. It's not supposed to be a narrative. It's not supposed to be it's this wholly abstract thing that occasionally pretends to be storytelling, etc., but when you take the words out of it and it's just the sounds, it's wholly abstract. And it's one of my favorite quotes about the function of music. Somebody asked Leonard Bernstein, what is music for? Which is probably one of the most fatuous questions, and Leonard Bernstein, bless his heart, actually had an answer. He says, music is the best tool we have for exploring the geography of the psyche. And after I read that, it made sense. It made all of the impressions and reactions that I have listening to a piece of music make a kind of sense. That they don't have to result in a particular state of mind or a particular concept or a particular... It's just that you've had this experience that's touched some places in your head that normally don't get touched. And all of the arts have that potential. In writing, poetry is the abstract art that supposedly does that. I personally don't care that much for poetry, but you can find it in good prose. In photography or painting, you find these distillations of shapes, and because they are often of something, you overlook the fact that there are shapes there in an abstract nature that are bouncing off the inside of your head and changing the way you see the world. It's all about getting out of your own head, ultimately, however you do that, and seeing things a little different. If for 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 seconds, see things a little differently, that's what you need to do in order to not stagnate, in order to not die.